All right, Sunday, August 4th, 2024, Stitch Shifter here. We're going to do a little foam shaping today. So we've got this all, we glued these all together. We see the last videos in there. We've got a thinner piece on the front, which is a softer foam because you're leaning against this, not putting a lot of pressure on it. The top piece here where you sit can be a little firmer. I use usually a 2350B foam, it's called, medium high density. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come in with our knife and we're going to try to cut just a little edge off of this. I'll show you how to set that up. All right, now I'm going to show you a couple ways where you can actually make this perfect. All right, so we're going to take something round, whatever size radius you intend to put on here. Can't see this very good. Oh, there we go. So we're going to mark this with our Sharpie first. Get it right in the spot, right spot. And this is a good day for this because we got Tropical Storm Debbie out there. The rain stopped pounding against it. Okay, so this is the radius we want. So we're going to go, oh wait, there's another line we have to make because we're not going to cut from this point to this point. We want to cut kind of across this point because this is what we're going to end up with, that radius right there. All right, and again, I'm going to do this the long way with absolute geometric perfection. Perfect! All right, now you can come in here somehow. I don't know, how are we going to do this? Actually, all right, I'm just going to do it. You can figure it out later. And again, this will make a nice smooth radius right across this front so it's not lumpy, bumpy, or crooked. So you mark the top, mark the bottom. Those are reference points that you create from marking across there. You understand? Stay with me. Oh, you can back this up and watch it again if you need to. Oh man, I got a lot of notifications, data warnings, everything else coming in today. So we're going to mark this. It's going to be about now you leave a little extra on because you're going to shave off more. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get outside to use the grinder. You don't want to do this inside because it grinds this, sands this off, and it makes a foam dust that gets on your, it's static electricity. It gets in your eyes, gets in your hair, gets on everything. But anyways, this is the lines you want to make, and you want to follow parallels across. I suppose the easiest way to do this is just measure back, put your straight edge on the top here, inch and an eighth back here. Now, and again, to set something up, to make things perfect, I think you can begin to see the step-by-step process is complex, but it'll give you a result that's better than anything. So, and after you do this a few hundred times, you'll figure out a few things. And again, one more time, the softer the foam, it's harder to cut. 2350B, which this is not. This is like a 150 something. This is a little softer, but it's a thick top. Softer the foam, the harder it is to cut with your electric knife. The sharper your knife, the better. You can also, to prevent sticking of the knife while you're trying to draw it through there, you put some of this dry film on here. Now, if you're going to be careful, that's Teflon, or that's Silnon. Silicone is not good. You don't want to have silicone around when you're spraying glue and or paint. It's a problem. Keeps things from sticking. Keep your glue from drying. That's why you get the sticky glue that stays sticky. So we want to try to get a stick on here. We can't put aluminum on there because it's going to want to fall off the face. So we're going to tape this in place. We're going to tape a stick on the front, and then we're going to use this as a guide to run our knife down there. That's probably good enough for most people. You'd be able to figure that out, right? So again, I'm doing this the extra long way. Normally I'm good at this. I could just, put the lines on here and freehand it. But for the beginner, for the novice, for the DIY guys that never did this before, but they want it perfect, this is what you do. This is how you do it. Now, I got to get my stick. I'm going to need a helper or more tape and a long enough stick. This is longer than a yardstick, so I got to go find something to fit on here. So I found this stick out there. It's been out in the storm, so it got a little wet. I need my helper. Thought someone was making me breakfast, but apparently they're just making themselves breakfast. So my helper's going to hold this other end here. I'm going to hold this end, and then we're going to cut this. Hold on. Okay, I'm doing this a long, hard, most thorough way possible. Again, I would be able to freehand this and get that close enough. So I've taped up in here, upside there. I've taped this back here. So this thing's pretty much locked on. I don't have to worry about that slipping and sliding and falling off. Because once you start pushing and trying to cut this off and you've got pressure on here, if that thing's not locked on there, you can screw it up pretty quick. And again, I hope you understand, this is what takes so long to do a single seat that looks like, oh, you just sew that, pop it on there, take you 5 minutes. You got to strip the piece, you got to get all the staples out of it, you got to clean it up, you got to lay everything out, make sure step by step that you're not going to forget anything like cover up the spur nuts and have to come back and change that. So this is locked on there. We can tape a piece on the front, hopefully the same way. Once this other piece dries out, your glue gun will dry up. Takes a day and a half to clean that out. So again, it's just a step-by-step process, but one step takes longer than you think. 20 steps take longer, so the thing takes 20 times as long as you think it's going to take. And why is my boat not done? I want to go out this weekend. Well, there's going to be a tropical storm. Don't worry about it. Again, Stitch Shifter Designs, August 4th, 2024. Can't see. There we are. Okay, and here's another kind of glue. Loctite, spray adhesive, high performance, high tack, high initial tack. I got to do a video on this. But what you can do is and again, you don't want to get this too much glue on something when you're going to cut it, because it's going to make the knife stick and it's going to make it harder. But sometimes you can use this initial. You try to put a headliner up with this, high initial tack. That means it'll stick up, but you're going to come out the next morning, this stuff will turn to dust within 24 hours and your headliner fall back down. So this won't work. Now, I've seen people argue and say, oh, I use this stuff, you just put a lot of it on there and it's great, it works fine, I do it all the time, I'm a professional, blah, blah, blah. Good for you. All right, I have my lovely assistant, who shall remain nameless, holding the other end down here. Now we got to get out of each other's way, and don't cut your assistant. She's going to get mad. All right, so I'm going to come in like this. Oh, wait, I got to plug this in. Hold that, please. Thank you. All right, I'm going to unplug this. Power is important when you're using power tools. All right, that looks pretty good. Again, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but it's got to be kind of perfect. There you go. Perfect. The blade's trying to crawl out of the foam because one side might be sharper. Man, this thing is really dull. And each time you stop or start, it's going to get a little, and you're pushing, you can't push too hard because that's going to make it go in and out. Only hurt a little bit, don't worry. All right, that looks pretty good. Thank you, my lovely assistant. All right, now we can get all this stuff back out of the way. Oop, I had to cover that up because Field Marshal Von Buzzkill would get upset if they saw that in the video. All right, so there we go. That is the first step. Now we're going to come in with our angle grinder in the next video, because this is really long, and we're just going to try to round this, round that, and leave a black little line in the middle, and it'll make this perfect.